Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced EP is Mr. Ming Chen, actor, podcaster, famously known, basically not returning to El Paso, but you were here at the Las Cruces Comic Con, coming to this year's El Paso Comic Con. Sir, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, man. You could say returning. I flew into El Paso,
Oh, that's right.
but I didn't get, I've only seen the airport, so I can't wait to see the rest of the city for sure.
Dude, you need a tour guide or places to eat. You let me know, man. I'm good
Start
for that.
start the list, man. I'm gonna hit all of it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
yep, and a Chihuahuas game, everything, man. So
Dude, yes. And then question I need to ask personally is, do you still have the Chihuahuas hat that I sent to you
I
when?
absolutely, I have that whole box of stuff you sent me, my friend. So
Yes.
yeah, I'll probably bring it down. So I'll rock that stuff
Sweet. If you
when I'm
forget
there.
it, man, we can get you a new one. We can get you a new one.
No, no, no. I totally have it. How do you forget that? It's such a cool logo.
Oh man, I appreciate you coming down. I mean, you're coming down. It's El Paso Comic Con, the 12th. Oh, sorry, man. I totally clicked away from my thing here. 12th, 13th, and 14th. Were you gonna be here all 3 days or
Oh
2 days?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll be there till they kick me out, man.
Oh,
That's
nice.
yeah, it's a Comic Con. I want to be there the whole time. So yeah, I'm not one of these guys who, like, leaves early or like comes super late or anything. I'd stay the whole time.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean you were super cool with us when we were in the Las Cruces Con when we were doing the when I was doing the photo ops. You chilled with us, hung out. You were hanging out in the main hallway, just talking to people, chatting them up, dude. I'll be like, I'm not just saying it because you're on, but you're like one of the nicest guys, man, and so genuine and just overall cool, dude.
Thanks, man. I mean, if you're not having fun at a Comic Con, you're not doing something right. So yeah,
No,
it's gonna be the biggest part of the weekend, man, in El Paso. So if you're watching or listening to this, yeah, the 12th, 13th, and 14th, just block off your calendar.
yep.
It's gonna be pretty wild for sure.
It's cool. I'll be honest with my production company. This is our first time back for a while. We were doing the photo ops for a while, but this year we're helping out Troy and the Paso Comic Con with we're live streaming the costume contest on Saturday for them. So we're excited to do that. Hopefully you could hang out and come check out the cosplayers. We got some cool ones here in town, man. We got some people that go all out. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I'll probably be there if I'm not hosting it, which I think I might be. I'm
sweet.
not sure, but I'll be there in some capacity for sure. I love the cosplay contest.
Dude, you'd be surprised on how everyone the all the how many of us nerds in El Paso there are, and the awesome cosplayers that like they go all out, dude. You should see some of these guys. A friend of mine, Jesus, he has a like I'm not kidding. He's like got more than 10 or 15 Batman cosplays in his house. I'm not too sure what he's dressing up as, so I'll have to ask him. But dude, everyone here is just like they go all out, and everyone just here has a really good time here in El Paso.
I can't wait to see it. I think the thing is, once you build one really good cosplay, like, it's addicting, right? I think you keep building more and more, and you meet other cosplayers, and you get better. Watch YouTube videos, like tutorials, and you learn how to cast armor,
Yeah.
and start making weapons, and it gets pretty crazy. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. And let me ask you, how did you get into like, comic books and working with all the people you have like they're at the shop and stuff like that when you're out there in New York and stuff like that?
I think I got in like any kid did. You because especially now comics are everywhere. So if you're a kid, you've got so many great resources. You just flip on the TV and you see, like, X-Men '97 is out right now. So, and when I was growing up, it was the original X-Men animated
Yep.
series. But I think when I was a kid, when I was real little, like 3, 4 years old, I knew who the big ones were: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I didn't really read comics back then, but in first grade, one of my classmates had an extra copy of Avengers 214, and he gave it to me. And I was like, "What's this?" He's like, "Well, it's a comic book." And in first grade, you're learning how to read, but everything they teach is pretty boring. It's like
Mhm.
Hop on Pop and Jack and Jill or whatever. It's pretty boring, and the stuff they give you don't really, So Dr. Seuss has pictures in it, but they don't have pictures of, you like, Batman beating up the Joker, or
Right?
the Avengers taking down, like, like Thanos or whatever. So reading that first comic book, that Avengers comic, was pretty eye opening. I'm like, that wow, this exists. This is cool. There's a Who's this guy with the shield? Oh, it's Captain America. Who's the guy in this weird armor? That's Iron Man. Who's the
Right.
guy in the flaming skull on the motorcycle? That's Ghost Rider.
Mhm.
So I think like every little kid should be exposed to all these because it's just cool, man. Like superheroes in general
Yeah.
are way cool. I mean, definitely cooler than real life. Anything we have in real life, right? So, um, but yeah, that really opened my eyes. So that got me into comics. So I started reading like anything with pictures and words I consumed. So whether it be comic books, and it was just comic books. I got really into like Snoopy, like the Peanuts.
Mhm.
I read that. Archie. My friend's parents always had a stack of Archies in their car, like wherever we went. So I read those, and yeah, as I met like-minded people, all my friends that I made from then on were into comic books. And there weren't, it was hard to find those friends, man, because there
Yeah.
weren't that many out there back in the late 80s, like early 90s. They, it wasn't cool to like comic books. Even if you like comics, you didn't tell anybody about it. Kind of a secret thing, right? Until, yeah, I think one time I made friends with this dude and I went to his house to play 8-bit Nintendo. The Castlevania 2 had just come out, so we were going to play
Oh,
that.
okay.
And he had a panel that he had cut out of a comic book on his wall, and it was a panel of Wolverine. I'm like, you know Wolverine? Like you're like the X-Men? He's like, oh yeah, man, I love Logan, man. I was like, holy crap, man, this guy's cool. So then we met, another kid who was also in the comics. So that was my crew. It's like me, it was three guys, man. That was it out of like 400 people that I knew who even knew who like the X-Men were, who Jack Kirby was, or Stan Lee. So
Yeah. No, that's
that's how
cool.
that's how I got into it. Kids are lucky now. Everyone knows that now. Everyone, you can flip on, you can watch on your phone. You
Yeah.
can flip on, you can grab, Daredevil on Disney Plus,
Yeah.
or again, X-Men '97 is a big
Yeah.
one right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's always one of the Avenger movies or Marvel movies on, on regular TV
yep,
now, and they're spoiled, man. They're spoiled.
yeah, and it wasn't even just comics. It was just cool, like sci-fi, like Star
Hmm.
Wars. There's so much. There's
Yeah.
more Star Wars now than there's ever been.
Yep.
Star Wars, Star Trek, and anything sci-fi based is pretty plentiful right now. So, and it's all good too.
Yeah.
It's all good. So even when we were younger, they tried. They didn't try very hard. Like there was a Spider-Man TV show that came out in the late '70s
Mhm.
that whenever the guy played Spider-Man threw a web, it looked like he's throwing a rope. Like it looked like he grabbed a rope and threw it.
Yeah.
That's what the web was like.
No.
And then I love Lou Ferrigno. I love the Incredible Hulk TV
Yeah.
show, but that the production quality wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
Um, and then a lot of I remind kids like, oh, you like Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury? He's cool. Well, when I was a kid, Nick Fury was David Hasselhoff,
David Hasselhoff.
and they're like,
Yeah.
what? They're like, yeah, the Baywatch guy, like Michael Knight
Yep.
was Nick Fury. Like that was a world we lived in,
Dude,
and
that's like a
and
blast from the past,
yeah,
dude.
right. And even though like like that '70s Spider-Man guy was played by a guy named Nicholas Hammond wasn't that good,
Hmm.
or the David Hasselhoff. The cool thing now is now we have the multiverse, right? So at
Yeah.
some point we could see them
Oh, dude,
as
imagine. I
Nick
didn't even think
Fury,
about that.
and they really should do it just for old guys like us, man. They
Yeah.
should bring back David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. Should bring back Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man. They should bring back they should definitely bring back Lou Ferrigno
Dude, right?
as
It's
the Hulk
dude, have
because yeah,
he was here a few years ago for El Paso Comic Con. Dude, that
yeah.
dude is huge.
He's huge. I think he's mid or late 60s.
Yeah.
And yeah, he could crush us, man. He
Yeah,
could
yeah,
crush
yeah.
us. I think my funniest memory was I was at a con, I was walking to breakfast, and it was a pretty narrow hallway, and coming down, taking up the entire hallway was not only Lou Ferrigno, but Sam Jones from Flash Gordon.
Oh man, that
Like
guy.
they'd just gone to the gym, they're walking back, and they're taking up the whole hallway, so they had to make this little space for me. And they're like, "Hey Ming, where were you? We didn't see you at the gym. Why? You're skipping your workout today?" I'm like, I'm gonna go work out my mouth muscles by eating hash browns, guys. Like,
Nice.
yeah, so
Yeah, dude.
yeah, that's
Flash Gordon was here last year, dude. He's such a
um
cool dude. I got to meet him.
super cool guy, man. Both of
Yeah.
them are awesome. But Sam
Yes.
Jones is cool because we're always doing Death to Ming jokes. And
Yeah.
first time I met him, I was like, "Hey man, can you put me in a headlock?" He's like, "You really want that?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I totally want that." And yeah, he
Yeah.
signed a couple things for me. I was like, "Hey man, can you write Death to Ming on here?" He's and yeah, he just thinks it's funny, so
Yeah.
we're homies now. It's great.
No, dude, that's cool. Yeah, he was nice enough. He let me get some video of him at his booth, and he's like, "Hey, let me do the intro to the video." I was like, "Dude, let's do it." Clip the mic on him, and I just let him go. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I was
uh,
gonna ask you, do you still look for that comic book in what the cities, different cities you go to?
oh yeah, it's Avengers 214. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my very first book. Yeah, everywhere I go, if I find it, I just buy it. Like at most it's $10.
yeah.
So it's pretty yeah, that's definitely that's the one that started it all. So I mean, it means a lot to me.
I thought,
So I
yeah,
kind of I have a
I thought that
small
was a
stack
cool.
of them here.
I thought that was a cool tradition that you do. Like you buy that with when you go to different places and different comic
Yeah,
shops
yeah, for
if they
sure.
have it.
Yeah, if they have it, it's got a pretty good story behind it. So yeah, I always grab it for sure.
Sweet. Yeah, that's like your first that being your first comic book and doing like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, good thing it wasn't like Hulk 181. It's like, oh man, I gotta shell like 18 grand for another one. I'm like, crap. So
Yeah, that'd be expensive.
yeah,
Speaking of expense, I was gonna ask if you don't mind, do you have what would probably be one of the most valuable comics in your
I don't have anything.
possession?
I don't have anything crazy.
Mhm.
Because like I want a Hulk 181, and I
Yeah.
probably should have bought one 10 years ago. It was way cheaper.
Yeah.
But it's tough, man. Yeah, it's weird. Like I've seen them. I've seen them at Comic Cons. Like a nice grade, like a 7 or 8,
Yeah.
and like a nice 7 or 8. Like you're pushing like almost 20 grand for that comic.
Yikes.
And I want to be in a position to be like, yeah, I'll take that. Or will you take 18 grand, man? Will you take 17? Like that's crazy, right? So
Yeah.
here's my thing
People
about
don't know,
comics.
man. People don't know
Yeah,
that. It's like they're like an investment now, dude.
yeah, they are. But here's my thing with those. Like, so since they're so monetized now,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I could plop down 18 grand for a Hulk 181, and it's graded. I wouldn't buy an ungraded copy for that
Yeah,
much.
for sure.
Then I would bring it home, and then most people like what you put it somewhere safe, right? Somewhere
Yeah.
dark, not humid, probably maybe in a safe, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you never see it again until maybe you pull it out once a year to show your friends, right? It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of sad. It should some people display them, but like that, even if you put that one on the wall, you're probably afraid that it'll fall off or someone will steal it. You're always worried about it,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
at the end of it's a comic book, right? So you should be enjoying it. You should be reading it, or you should be at least looking at it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have a friend that they've got Amazing Fan 15. They saved up a bunch
Wow.
and they got one. But I'm like, well, where is it? They're like, oh, it's in a safety deposit box. We pull it out once a year to, just take a look at it, or
Just to look at it.
yeah, just to make sure it's still there, and then we put
Right.
it back. We don't see it for a year. It's kind of a weird, it's almost like it's you're vaulting it, right? It's literally
Yeah.
put in a vault. You don't really see it.
I
So
never thought of it that way. Like you
yeah,
buy that really nice, expensive book, you finally have it, and you're just, I'm gonna put it somewhere safe so no one
yeah,
can see it. But it's
yeah,
like, why? And now that I think about it, it's like, oh man, I'm like, yeah, I think I totally would try to display it. Like the ones behind me, they're two Ben Bishop covers of Ninja Turtles,
yep,
and they're signed by him and Kevin Eastman. But those are like one of my favorite, some of my favorite covers, like the ones with Raph holding with the proton pack on.
yep, yep,
I
yep,
mean, it's just so cool, and I have some other ones too that, of course, they're put away in my closet over here in the short boxes. So
yeah. So that being said, so yeah, mine aren't like 18 grand or anything. I want a
yeah,
giant
same
size
here.
X-Men. I would love X-Men 98 or
Hmm.
or 94 or one of those. Um, so the two that I have that are not only meaningful but maybe probably I guess the most valuable. I have a New Mutants 98, first Deadpool. I was kind
Nice.
of banking on that going up when the movies came out, and it went up a little bit, but it didn't hit like a Hulk 181,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
Um,
They usually too, they'll go up, and then like after the movie kind of comes out for a while, they'll like go back down a little bit once in a
yeah,
while. But sometimes, like you said, that Hulk 81 that one
yeah,
kind of stayed up there.
yeah. But me and Mike were at a con in Louisville one year, and we did really really well that con. Kevin was there, so usually when Kevin's there, we get a little we get a little bump in whatever we make.
Yeah.
But we were pretty happy at the end of the con. and we were walking by this comic book booth. They were breaking down. And we walked by it, and all of a sudden we looked at each other. We slowly backed up, and we started looking at all the stuff they had, and we kind of went on a shopping spree. So he was like, "Hey, what's that? First Vision? How much? Okay, I'll take that. What's that? All right, Jean Grey. Dark, Dark Phoenix Saga. Okay, I'll take all of those." So that
Mm.
was my one that I bought from that shopping
Oh,
spree
nice.
was the New Mutants '98. I brought a raw copy and I ended up getting graded. It came out a 9.4.
Oh, cool.
To me, it's a 9.6, but whatever. Um,
Whatever,
so
CGC.
yeah, so I think when Deadpool hits the MCU, especially with him and Wolverine, I think that one will go up a bit.
Yeah,
The other one, I was at Comic Con. I saw a pretty. It was a beat up copy of Tales of Suspense 57, which is first Hawkeye,
yeah.
and I love Hawkeye, so I picked that one up. I only picked that one up for $100. It was pretty beat up. But what I did was at the next con, I I stood in line for Stan Lee. I wanted Stan Lee to sign it. And he had been on Comic Book Man already, so his guys saw me. They're like, "Hey, Ming, you need that sign?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I'm like, "Well, here, follow us." And we walked, and we went behind his curtain, and then we popped out at his table.
Oh,
And they're like,
nice.
"Hey, Stan, remember Ming? You were on the show with him. Hey, he needs to sign." He's like, "Oh yeah, no problem." He signed
Nice.
it. They had CGC was right there, so I got that one graded.
Oh,
I
nice.
thought it was like a 1.0 or 1.5. It was pretty beat up. It came back at 2.5.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, but more importantly, I was there. Stan Lee signed it in front of me, and so that I have that, and
That's cool.
who
Uh,
knows what that one is worth? I'm not
yeah.
selling that one, so
Uh, I have a cool Stan Lee story for you too. It was
yeah,
one of the last times they had the Stan Lee Comic Con in LA,
yeah,
and it's right when his biography came out, and I purchased it to pick it up there as a signed copy. So I went as soon like right before it opened, just so I can get it. And I was like, "Hey, I'm here to pick up my signed copy of Stanley's autobiography." So, yeah, go ahead and stand in line right here. You can be the first one. He'll be here in a minute. And I was like, "What? He'll be here?" He's signed him live.
yeah.
And while I was waiting,
You thought they were pre-signed?
yeah, I thought they were
Nope.
pre-signed.
That's cool.
And then
That's
like I
awesome.
was waiting in line, and I told the manager it was the publishing company that set up their booth, and I was like, "Hey,
Yeah,
sir, I'm Ray Jackson. I'm here as press as well, but would it be okay if I shot some video for you of him signing, and I'll send it to you guys, and just let his security staff know that I'm shooting that, so they
yep,
don't get all mad." And they
yeah.
were, yeah, and I got to get like super close to Stan Lee, got some video of him, a video of him signing my book. It was a cool experience, and he was such a cool dude, man.
I think he was the coolest guy on the planet, man.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. So I'm glad you got to meet him because now I meet so many people like, oh man, you met Stanley. Like, I wish I could have met him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I wish you could have met him too because it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he was a cool dude, man. He was a cool dude.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to meet him for sure.
Yeah,
And
I'm just, it was cool that you got to work with him too. So that was cool too.
yeah, I mean, I got that. We got Kevin to thank for that. Luckily,
Yeah.
he put Stan in Mallrats, and then they
Hmm.
became very good friends. And whatever Kevin needed, Stan would do. Whatever Stan needed, Kevin would do. I always
Oh,
thought that was cool.
that's a cool professional
Yeah.
relationship, man. That was a cool.
Yeah, yeah, they would always call him favorites for each other, like no
Nice.
hesitation.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I have Kevin to thank for that because at some point in Comic Book Man, they're like, hey, let's get Stan Lee on the show. Well, how do we do that? It was like Kevin knows him. Kevin will get him down, and sure enough, he did. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, call Kevin Smith, man.
yeah, yeah,
I,
literally,
Yeah, that's cool, man. No, I mean, I'm super excited to have you here coming to El Paso and stay here and be at the Archon here. I mean, it's the same. It's just this. It's basically the same people. So it's just going to be more people
yeah,
than the Las Cruces one. Because I think when Troy did that one, he was rebuilding that one too.
yep,
He had just kind of started that one, and that one they had that one last year, and it's like double the size, man. So there's going to be a lot of people this El Paso one. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, I was going to say, what can people expect when they see you over at the con, your table, man?
I come and I just have a lot of fun. So if you've seen Comic Book Men and if you've and you enjoyed it and you want to come, you got questions about the show or you just want to come hang out, like I make it a fun experience. So
Nice.
um if it's not too crazy, like I'll sit there and talk to you for 30 minutes if you want, because I'm just there to meet other
Yeah.
nerds, right?
And
So
just so people know, you are not lying. I'm telling you, you like you hung out with us at the photo booth like a whole for a while too, and just
yeah,
chatted with everyone and all, like my nephews and my wife and my brothers. You do. I'm not. I keep saying it, but you're like one of the nicest guys, man.
thanks, man. Like literally, I'm there to make friends, because I remember what it was like when you couldn't find fellow nerds, right? All the stuff you wanted to talk about. I was like, oh man, did you see X-Men '97? Did you see Ahsoka? Did you see Andor? And imagine you saw all this cool stuff like that, but nobody else did, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm the only one that saw it. Like you would explode, right? Because you want to bounce, you want to throw theories at each other, or you just want to talk about how much you liked it, right?
Yeah.
With fellow fans, other people who also enjoyed it. And in the late '80s and the '90s, when I saw that stuff, I really didn't have that, but now we do.
Yeah.
So I want those people who like the same stuff I do to come up and tell me about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is, we have one common thing in Factor. Like everywhere, those people come up to me, they like comic book men, so that's cool.
Mhm.
So we have that. We'll have that in common. But
Yeah.
with the nature of what we do, we like everything, right? So we like so many other genres and other forms of pop culture. So I like to talk to people about what they like, and why they like it, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
um yeah, so while your experience with other people is like, hey, maybe you go an autograph, you get maybe a couple seconds with them. It's a party where at my booth, man. It's always a
Party
party.
at Ming's booth, man.
Yeah,
Everybody.
literally. So yeah, come on out for sure. If you haven't seen Comic Point, you got time to pull it up on YouTube,
Yeah.
or if you just want to talk about pop culture in general. um yeah, that's I'm here for that. You don't have to necessarily have had to seen the show to come hang out for sure. Yeah, a lot of times like, hey, I had great conversation, check out the show when you get home,
Right.
and maybe make some new fans. So
For sure. For sure. And then you also co-host a podcast, correct?
yeah, I used to have a bunch of podcasts, but what I do now is I open up a bunch of studios out here, and I rent them out by the hour. So I help people launch or record podcasts.
Sweet.
So lately, I've been doing, I've been so busy helping other people podcast. I haven't really recorded my own in a while.
Business, man.
Um,
You gotta be business. You gotta
yeah, I feel
do it.
like these days I'll jump on other people's podcasts more often, which is kind of fun. So
Oh, yeah, and like, again, and I'm super stoked that you're here with me right now. So
yeah,
it's so cool, man. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
for sure. And also the cons, they're putting me to work this time, man. They were like, hey, we want you to moderate most of the panels. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So,
We'll have
um,
plenty of drinks for you, man. That way you don't get thirsty and get cotton mouth when
oh
you're on
yeah,
the mic.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I think, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing all of them, but I think they're putting me to work on most of them. So no, like, a lot of cool guests, a lot of Sons of Anarchy guests coming out. Patrick
Sweet.
Warburton, who I've had a table next to, but I've never really talked to.
Hmm.
He's there, and yeah, a lot of cool voice actors. The voice
Yeah,
actors and
man.
anime
It,
is very big at conventions right now. Like I think
yeah.
conventions are very driven by anime voice actors right now, and
Yeah, we
most
even have he even started just an anime
yeah,
con here. I don't know
yeah.
if he had told you about that
Yep,
yet, but
nope. I saw that. I think most smart businessmen who are running pop culture cons
yeah,
are now doing anime and
yeah,
horror conventions.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty cool how the subgenre is now like a main genre, which is cool.
Yep. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and then will you people can find you social media? Where can we find you just to
Yeah,
keep
I'm
up
all
with
over. Yeah, my social media is Ming Chen 37, MingChen 37. I'm all over. Yeah, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook,
All right.
Instagram, whatever new one comes out, I hop on, and
Yeah.
then inevitably they die because they only last for about 2 months. So like, yeah, we were talking about, hey, whatever happened to that one where it was like audio only, and people would jump on? I was like, oh, Clubhouse, yeah, no one uses that anymore, so
Yeah.
that's not
That,
cool anymore.
I think that's so that was around. I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, I think what happens is these small companies come up with cool ways to do social media in a new way,
Mhm.
and then Instagram and Facebook and Twitter immediately throw money and make a similar version and
Ah,
integrate it, and then the
oh,
other one
okay.
just dies. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to beat like billions of dollars sometimes.
True, true, true.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I always root for the underdog, man.
yeah.
Always.
No, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, no, so you'll see Ming Chen, uh, April 12th, 12th, 13th, and
Yep,
14th.
you got it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. There it was. Sorry. I clicked away from it. 12th, 13th, and 14th, El Paso Comic Con at the El Paso Convention Center. Get your tickets now. Go to the website. I'll put all this information description below. I also put Ming's information description below so you can follow him on all his social media platforms, see where he's at. And then we'll get the list going for where you're going to eat the weekend you're here, sir.
Oh yeah, we're going to all of it, so
Yes,
for
yeah. I,
sure.
I got a few off the top of my head. We got I don't know if you've had Chico's. That's like a taste a thing El
I
Pasoans do. It's all
Yeah,
right.
I
I don't know
just
if you
did
had
it.
that last time.
It was funny. I did an interview with a local country station,
Yeah,
105.1, I think it was.
yeah.
And yeah, the guy was like, "Man, you gotta go to Chico's Tacos." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay, done."
it's good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pass one. I like it, but we got some places like we have it's a place right behind Chico's on Dyer here in central El Paso. It's Roscoe's Burgers. They kind of just reopened. Had a fire and they were closed for almost a year, but they got it reopened. That's like a staple here in El
yeah.
Paso.
All right,
And
I'm
if you're
in.
looking for Mexican food, we got Kiki's, L&J's. I mean, there's a whole bunch of places to go to, man. You for reals, if you want a list, I'll send you one, and or I'll
Oh yeah,
take you to one or
for
two, man.
sure
You
we'll
let me
hit all of
know.
it. And then yeah, the dive bars in El Paso better watch out, man, because we're
Oh,
coming.
oh,
We're
we'll get you a
coming.
list of those too, man. There's some good
Okay,
ones here in El Paso.
fantastic. Okay, good.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Ming, again, man, I'm super stoked you're coming to
Yeah,
El
man,
Paso Comic
I'm glad you'll
Con.
be there. Yeah, you left really good memories in Las Cruces, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad I get to hang out in your neighborhood
No,
for a
I
bit.
appreciate it, man. Yeah, again, I'll put all your information description below. Sir, is there anything else you'd like to say, Rad, before we end today?
No, it's good. Again, if you're anywhere near El Paso, Las Cruces, Albuquerque, Dallas, even come on out, take the drive down because it's gonna be a pretty awesome convention.
Remember, party at Ming's table at El Paso Convention Center, El
Party
Paso
at
Comic
Ming's
Con.
table. Welcome to the party zone, everybody.
Thanks, Ming. Have a good one, man. We'll see you
Thank you,
soon.
man.
All
Thank
right.
you.